Hello everyone who watched this presentation. Today I want to talk about node.js. If you haven't heard of node.js, the first question would be something like this. What is node.js? And I'm here today to answer a couple of questions. Node.js is a server environment like PHP, Ruby, Java, C, Python. Node.js is completely free. Node.js can be run on all popular platforms like Windows, Linux, Mac and others. And the most important for me, Node.js is based on JavaScript, the same JavaScript that we all use for the front end. Now we can use it to create backend. Next question is why should we use a Node.js? The answer is simple. Node.js uses asynchronous programming. Let's look how PHP or ASP handles a file request. At the first, sends task to the computer file system, then waits while the file system opens and reads the file, finally returns the content to the client, and only now it's ready to handle the next request. But look how is Node.js handles the file request. Same way, at first sends task to the computer file system, but after that the Node.js is ready to handle the another request. When the file system has opened and read the file, the server returns the content to the client. Look here. Node.js eliminates the waiting and simply continues with the next request. Node.js runs single-threaded, non-blocking, asynchronously programming, which is very memory efficient. And the next question about Node.js sounds like that. What can Node.js do? At first, Node.js can generate dynamic page content. For example, Node.js can generate a page by a URL that doesn't exist, which gives us a message and redirect button to the main page, or create email confirmation link. We all know that JavaScript cannot edit files, but Node.js does. Node.js can create, open, read, write, delete and close files on the server. That can be useful for recording user's voice message or something like that. Node.js, of course, can collect form data from your HTML document. And of course, Node.js can add, delete, modify data in your database. Can be used for registration uses, password, messaging, or something like that. The next point is what the Node.js files look like. Node.js contain tasks that will be executed on certain events. A typical event is someone trying to access a port on the server. Node.js files must be initialized on the server before having any effect. Node.js files have extension JS, of course. This is a simple description of Node.js file. Now let's close a look at the simple Hello World server. If you have already worked with JavaScript, this code is familiar to you. In the first line, we see import of HTTP server. Import in node.js is different from import in vanilla JavaScript. We can use require to get our module or Node.js library object. Node.js has fantastic standard library, including for the first class support for networking, like this HTTP. At the sixth line, we can see the create server method of HTTP that creates a new HTTP server and returns it. And the server is set to listen on the specified port and the host name. When the server is ready, the callback function is called. This function. In this case, informing us that our server is running. Whenever a new request is received, the request event is called, providing two object and request and providing two object request and HTTP incoming message object. That's one request. And response an HTTP dot server response object. These two objects are essential to handle HTTP call. The first provides the request details. In this simple example, this is not used, but you could access the request headers and request data. The second is used to return data to the caller. We set the status code property to 2000 to indicate a successful response. We can set a content type header and we close the response, adding the content as argument to end. Today, that's all I would like to tell you about Node.js. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.